Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, and today I'm going to talk about Love Never Lies Poland. Now, this show is a variation of one we covered in the past, the Love Never Lies, the original, which is in Spain, and then there was the second season. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but we covered both those shows. I figured that we should at least touch on this Poland version. And right before I get to like the deep end of it. To me this was a very tame version of the Spanish season. Not a lot of promiscuity. I felt like the people that were actually on this show were they appeared that they wanted to work on their relationship. So a lot of the strife and negativity that between each couple was more about like I felt like lying instead of like sexual acts. And there were a few sexual acts, but not even on the level of the Spanish seasons. So this came out 7 episodes on Netflix, hosted by Maja. Just before we get to it, I have the names are a lot tougher for me to say than the Spanish, so I have either short names or how they said it with the dub. So I apologize if you're watching this and you're from Poland and I'm not saying the names correctly, but I don't want to butcher them. Um, The final prize pot came out to 153,000 zloty, and I'm not sure what the current the exchange rate is for American, but decent. They said the max could be 200,000. So I think they gave the amount of truths for each couple except for Bruno and um, Yidre, and it just that's the thing about the show is like I don't really like how they decide the winner. It's just how many if you told the most truth or like if there's a tie you lied the least, which is what they kind of implied that because they gave four of the six couples their numbers and then it was between spoiler alert, Bruno and Yidre and Andre and Lilia. And Andre and Lilia won. They actually one of the longest tenured couples from the show. They were 5 years. There was one that was 1 year. That was Ida and Maddie. I'm just gonna start running down the list of like my impressions of the couples, just because it was just an interesting like this whole franchise. They applied again that they're gonna have another season. I mean, they are starting to do this like some of these countries in Europe. I wonder if like another one will pop up like that is maybe English or American, but I just don't know after watching now 3 seasons if this would translate well in America. But I mean, if they made it, I'd watch it because at this point we're covering pretty much anything. Okay, first couple, Bruno, 27, Yij 28. This is actually a gay couple. Bruno, the big things in this one is Bruno apparently had sex with a mutual friend or a mutual acquaintance of Hydre at some point, and this broke him throughout the season. So when they got to the matchup or the finale, like he was definitely upset. Um, Looks like they're gonna work it out. That's another thing I want to say about the show is the couples go through such like hardships, and then they're just at the end. They're like, okay, let's just try it. No, like no worries. And I felt like on the other seasons that like it definitely was fake. This one to me, I can be a little more understanding and believe it because people weren't just having sex with each other and doing just the most like crazy stuff. And so I understand that, like, and some of the things hangups are just lying in the past. So, like, this one is technically he did cheat on him, but it wasn't. I don't think it was recently, but they apparently are going to work on it. Victoria and Yashik, these were the strangest people on the show. I wrote down that they look like pirates. Yashik would wear like a bandana all the time, and he wore these like striped shirts, kind of looked like he was like a sea, like a seaman or just yeah, honestly, also, if anybody knows, he looked like like team. I think it's like Team Lava or Team something in Pokemon, and it's just the characters look like that. And he reminded me of that. He talked about money nonstop on the show, and I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially when they split into the very similar concepts where the the couples would split up. They'd bring in people to tempt them or test their relationship, and he didn't even participate at all. Like all he talked about was like how they're gonna win, how they're gonna win. and that they're gonna like they're all about the money. They end up having the least amount of truth, so they technically came a dead last. The hang up in their relationship is that he kept liking and looking for sex online, apparently, and she wasn't she wasn't like that great either. She was hiding her relationship with men on the internet, but I think his was worse. And anytime I detect apparently it's infallible, he would be like, no, it's not true, it's not true, and the host would just be like, you're full of it, like you're lying. So they might be one of the ones that I'm not sure how. I didn't look anything of this up, but they didn't seem to look like they look like they're on rocky terms, is the best way I guess I can say it. Okay, Kasha 22, Cornell 25. They had six truths, so that I guess they tied for third. She didn't feel appreciated. They brought somebody in that was like kind of nicer and was like telling her how pretty she was and doing like kind gestures for her. She and near the end of it, she was like, "I'm gonna work on myself." But of course, she caved in the end, and they're gonna reconcile and try it again. He doesn't express his emotions very well, and I think that was a hang up because she wants to feel validated that he likes her, he loves her, things like that. And through the course of the show, he says he changed a lot. So, I mean, I didn't hate them. Uh, I didn't think like I guess I mean obviously all of these things are you're gonna react differently to how you feel about the relationship, but I think it's one that they can rebound from. Okay, this is the couple who who were like messing around the most. So we got Dominic 25 and Bernadetta who's 28. Um, So when they do the separations of the villa, he went first, and they brought a girl on, and she was wearing like shirts that you could see right through it, and like you see her nipples and stuff like that. And he definitely wanted to have sex with her, and she kept implying that because there's cameras, he wasn't going to do anything. And she was definitely messed up from it, but as soon as she got it's like the classic case of like the revenge. Like as soon as she got her chance, she ended up hooking up with the guy that she was with. um they were like doing some weird stuff in the bathroom, I think in like episode 5 or 6. They she came into the finale like I don't want to do this. They both had questions on ID Tech that was like, I don't want to fight for this relationship, I don't want to work for it. And then they go back into the room that they both were screwing around with, each like somebody in, and they reconcile. So I don't know where that is, but that to me, that's exactly the kind of stuff that happened on every couple in the Spanish season. So one out of six, I can deal with that. I just it just that they made me laugh. Like they're like, oh, we're perfect for each other, we're perfect for each other. And it's like, well, no crap. All right, Ida 20, Maddie 24. This one, they were together for less than a year. I just the whole time I just I wasn't vibing with her at all. Like she's 20 years old. Why is she on the show? Like there's no reason to be on the show. Like you're not in love at 20. Like you're not. Um so his hang up is he thinks she makes him feel inferior to her. And she kept implying that he was like a sex addict, and that kind of pissed him off. He had some moments on the show where he was like cursing out loud, like angry, and she holds on to a lot of his stuff from the past, and it might even be before her because she's only 20 years old. But and there was like a lot of like I think somebody came on and somebody was saying things about him in a past relationship. So I guess you just an interesting dynamic with that one. They were definitely my least favorite couple, more so her because she's 20 years old. Why is she on the show? Like the next couple, Andre is 30. So I mean, they'd been together for 5 years. So it makes sense that I mean, why they would go on this show, I guess. But you left together for less than a year. Just break up. Like you shouldn't be on the show. Okay, our winners, Andre 30, Leah 28. He had cheated on her in the past. She knew about it. I think she found out that there was one other person, though they didn't really imply if that was before or after. She flirts with men when she goes out. I mean, again, if she's not doing anything, I don't really see the issue there. She came into the finale pretty pissed off, and eventually she caved, just like everybody else does on the show. She worries about his drinking, where he could be like too flirty and like I guess cheat on her again. Um, funny moment in the finale. Yeah, he called her the wrong name, which I thought was super weird because you've been with somebody for 5 years. How are you gonna say her name wrong? But she forgave him. So they end up winning. They don't actually give the final number of truths that they have, or the if they had. Oh, they didn't lie. So, but they didn't give the amount of truth. So I guess Bruno and EJ lied once or something like that. But again, it would I watch this show? If you haven't seen the others, I wouldn't. But if you've already seen the 2 out of 3 seasons now, like you might as well just stick with it. I mean, they're only like 45-minute episodes, 7 episodes, so nothing like you're not gonna like waste your like a whole weekend on it. But I'm very intrigued to see this show go to like Europe, like not Europe, but like maybe the UK or US like that. I want to see how it translates because I'm still unsure, and I've seen 3 seasons of it. And this season to me reminded me a lot more of season one of the Spanish version. The season two is just completely off the rails. But like that apparently is going to have another season, and we'll be back for it. So let me know what you thought of the show if you watched it. Again, I'm going to give it like a lower level review, just because it wasn't. I was expecting it to be totally as trashy as the other 2 seasons were. So yeah, check it out. The dubbing, of course, is stays bad for Netflix. They have the same voices on the other one. It just doesn't. It's hard to forget the one. There's one guy's voice that just sticks in my mind like all the time. But check it out. We have a ton of other content. We cover The Bachelor. We cover Below Deck. Are You the One? Married at First Sight. 90 Day Fiance is the other way. MILF Manor. The list goes on and on. I do a YouTube short for Love Island every day. Bill has been doing some shorts on Below Deck news because there's been a lot lately. So check all that stuff out. Give us a like, a subscribe. I'm sure we'll have something that you may like, or and definitely suggest a show for us because we will definitely check it out. So I appreciate you watching. See you guys next time.